11th Street was a project that I began documenting about 11 years ago, and no longer than that. It was about 12 going on 13. You know, I drive it every day on my way to work. As I would drive down, I'd see interesting people, you know, some homeless people, some rich people, and, you know, all ethnicities. And I started seeing things changing on there, so I decided to go ahead and start documenting it as a project for the Bee. Didn't tell anybody what I was doing, then presented to them after about 6 months, and they said they weren't really interested. I believed that it was a valid project, and I've continued ever since, 13 years. You see, okay, there's a certain thing called the First Amendment, and we're on the street. As you can see, it's a public thoroughfare. If that's a private area right there, then I will respect that if they don't want any filming. But right here, yeah, the First Amendment of the Constitution allows for filming or any kind of documentation. I'm not shooting over there, I'm shooting at this.
Sir, you can't film here, sir.
You know, we're going to exercise whatever rights and also respect whatever restrictions they have within that space right there. The main part of my assignment today was photographing at the rodeo, the Oakdale Rodeo today. And I'm talking about the arc of my day, how different, how diverse it gets to go from there, you know, the cowboy capital of the country, they call it that, and then to come here to Groove Fest with DJ Scribble. And then a little later on, I'll be going to join Laura and a couple other friends at the Gallows Center, you know, block away here on 11th Street. DJ music isn't my particular style, but I like documenting the sociological, maybe even the anthropological aspect of the different mating sessions or rituals from, you know, the local populace. Good, interesting, diverse mix of people here, and I don't think I've ever seen an evening in Modesto with as much diversity in things to do. We've got half a block right here. You got Groove Fest, you've got Photo, and then you've got, you know, the Modesto Symphony doing Beethoven with Leon Fleischer. I remember my father, when we were kids, whenever he would do a photograph of a family member, he just had this old box camera, you know, Kodak. I'm talking very basic, just like a single, you know, leaf shutter, and that's it. But I remember one thing that he would always do is try and find a point of view, a perspective, or sometimes he would try and recreate a story. I remember he dressed up my younger brother as a spaceman one time, you know, and so my dad always had a creativity about him. He was a really good artist, and several of us in the family, you know, picked that up from him. It's intuitive. It can't be extracted from the job. I mean, it's always, you know, I want to, you know, make sure I have the right color balance, the right exposure, the right shutter speed, you know, all the basics of photography, and good compositions. Make sure that the highlights, you know, I mean, see the light is changing quickly right there, so I have to respond as well, you know, from that standpoint to make sure that it's properly exposed, to get backlit if I want it, get silhouetted if I want it. And so I'm always moving, and everything is shifting. All the calculations are shifting as far as the light level changing, you know, the unpredictability of human behavior as well. There was one of my favorite photographers, Elliot Erwitt, said, if you point your camera at someone long enough, they're going to do something absurd. And so it's, you know, a calculus in saying, or maybe being a student of you know, human behavior and say, okay, based on these factors right here, what are they probably going to do next? And sometimes you get it, sometimes you don't, but it's a matter of being ready for it. See, I should have gotten that photo as the light was shining on you right there. Okay. A little overexposed, see, because of no excuses. I missed out my opportunity right there.